Hello. Good evening. Welcome to this, we'll call it a special edition of Tax Talk with Brother Juan. As you can see, it's not Wednesday at 1 p.m. So thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching live right now or whether you're watching the video later on. Thank you for clicking on the link. I definitely appreciate the engagement. The more engagement, the further the video is pushed out. So feel free to like, love, comment, or share to help this video get out to more people. So I wanted to hop on today. I guess I put my foot in my mouth quite a bit and made a post yesterday about credentialed, non-credential taxpayers. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. I won't be short because I wanted to just provide a moment of free education, a moment of free education. And so that's kind of the subject we're going to talk about. As you see from the title, let me see what I actually titled this this live stream. I think, do you need a tax preparer? I think that was the title that I put. Maybe not from the live stream. I was looking at the video here and pulling it up before I continue. So yeah, what is it? Do you need a tax preparer? That's it. Free education. So that's the subject matter for today. Those of you who don't know me, I am Brother Juan, Juan P. Barrientos II. I am the owner of Next Step Financial Partners Tax and Accounting and Next Step Financial Partners Consulting. I am a licensed and ordained minister, also pastor and service lead elder of the Shield of Faith Missionary Baptist Church in Oklahoma City. I hold a bachelor's degree in business management, a master's degree in accounting and financial management. I hold various unaccredited religious degrees, a bachelor's in ministry, a master's in pastoral theology, a doctorate in ministry with an emphasis in biblical counseling. I am an authorized e-file provider with the IRS. I participate in the IRS's annual filing season program, hold a record of completion for 2022. And that's kind of the area that I'm going to be going in as far as teaching and talking about tax preparers. So one thing about me, I love to support others, right? And so on my friends list, this is broadcasting on my personal page as well as my business page and my YouTube channel all at one time. I'm connected with a lot of tax preparers. And so this is some free education for you. When we know better, we do better. So even along those lines, talk a little bit about CPAs and the fact that I'm not a CPA, and there are certain services that only CPAs can provide. Taxes is not one of them. So we want to talk a little bit about that as well in this education. This won't be a short video at all. So it won't be 5-10 minutes, but I'll try not to be a Baptist preacher and be long-winded at the same time. So if you do tune in, let me know you're here. Say hello. And if you have any questions, feel free to type those in the chat as we discuss. So the post, or one of the posts that I did earlier last week. Now let's talk about the one I did last night, and then we'll kind of just ease into the subject. And so the post was FYI, there's no such thing as a certified tax preparer. The IRS does not certify tax pros. There are credentialed and non-credentialed tax pros, tax preparers. And I said, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Hence, I committed myself to doing a live stream today. And as you see by the time, I definitely didn't do it in the morning. I didn't do it in the afternoon. It's evening. And even with that, I know some of y'all are getting off work right now, looking at Facebook as you're in traffic. Be careful. Don't have no accidents. But you can definitely listen. Don't encourage you to watch, but you can definitely listen. So a post I made earlier in the week, it's actually just a couple of days ago, a few days ago, talking about it amazes me that people will pay for quality when we want to, and quality is also based on perceived value. I guess I'm not reading this verbatim, I'm kind of summarizing it. And my focus was about clothes, cars, food, One of the best cars I ever owned, 1994 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham. My white Fleetwood with maroon leather interior is probably the best car I ever owned. We lived in Chisholm Creek. A lot of people are going to be watching this in Oklahoma City. So lived in Chisholm Creek, had a major hailstorm 2010, and my car took on a lot of hail damage as a result of that storm. But it was definitely my best car. The same engine block that they put in the Corvette. So in that particular model, it was rear-wheel drive. It was built to last. And although I probably wouldn't buy a new Cadillac today, but I would definitely buy another 1994 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham if I happen to find one in good condition and had the money at the time. You know, that's that's a factor as well. But going beyond that, value, right? I don't value new Cadillacs as much as I do the older build models. Definitely the early 2000s dealing with the North Star. I would never buy a North Star. I went to a dealer and he told me he don't even sell them. He don't even sell them as used cars. So he would never buy one to sell. That's how much he revered them. And of course, he's actually the one I bought the 94 from. So every year we're forced to give up our privacy and give an accounting of our personal finances to the U.S. government so that we can fund the society in which we live. If we do not come to the table when and how we are instructed, there could be fines, penalties, and God forbid, criminal charges against us as a United States taxpayer. And as a result of that, I don't understand how people think that they can get over on the government, claim credits they don't qualify for to get a more significant return, fines, penalties, and garnishments. They are real. And no one gets caught until they get caught. Hello to my wife, Kizzy. I'm kind of flipping back and forth. Hello to my wife, Kizzy. Thank you for tuning in. Love you. Thank you for your support. So secondly, I don't understand how some tax preparers can enter the industry to hustle the tax preparer. Now, I have, my story getting into tax prep. I started off seasonal tax preparer. It was a side gig. But as you can see, I'm true to this. And I'm still talking about my post. That's the way I put it. I'm true to this, right? Next Step Financial Partners started that in 2019. Started Next Step Financial Partners and with the ultimate goal to become a full-time tax preparation firm. And of course, we've done that. And so no longer a side gig. And I was never in it to hustle. I was in it to build a career. And so thank God for that. And so beware, there are people in the industry that want to hustle you out of your money. Right. They're not going to be there for you throughout the year and year after year. They just want to hustle you. And that's the reality. Right. So number 3, you want to invest in low value, low quality tax preparation. Now, if your tax pro cannot explain the tax return simply because they only do data entry, it's a red flag. It's a red flag. Or you let cousin Pookie do your taxes and he didn't even graduate high school, but you trust him to be able to read and understand tax law. The Internal Revenue Code is law, right? But okay. So you trust a tax software of a major corporation to have your best interests at heart. Now, I use professional tax preparation software. We have to in order to e-file, but I don't depend on it. And plus, I've had instances where I've looked at somebody's tax return that they did on some of those consumer products. We won't name any names, and only to find mistakes because people really didn't understand what they were doing or the questions that were being asked. And so I found mistakes. One client of mine, had to look back at their previous return for certain information. And then as I was looking at it, wasn't even looking for an error, just looking for the information. Something stuck out, began to investigate. It was off to the tune of between the federal and state, almost $10,000 in their favor. that they were leaving on the table. And they were using consumer tax software in order to do their taxes at the time. And so that more than well paid for my services, right? And so why choose myself as a professional tax preparer? My life's purpose is to impact lives for the cause of Jesus Christ. Therefore, I try to follow the commands of Christ, to love the Lord and do right by people. You know, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I want people to be real and upfront with me and treat me with dignity and respect. And that's how I try to do with other people, right? So that's how I run my business. And ultimately, it's to the glory of God. So let's get into talking about, education. And for those of you who are looking for a tax preparer, whether you choose me or not, that's not the purpose of this video. It's not whether you choose me or not, but it's to provide you with information so that you can make the best choice possible, right? And I may not be that best choice, so I will admit that I'm not for everybody. So that's perfectly fine. So looking at that particular post that I made, again, hustling the American taxpayer or playing with the government, playing with the IRS. So I subscribe to IRS updates. One of the updates that we receive on a regular basis that I particularly subscribe to is indictments, cases dealing with tax preparers. So I'm going to share my screen, but I don't know how well you can see this. This is from the Treasury Inspector General of the Tax Commission. There are listings and listings of cases dealing with tax preparers. And just looking at this first one, so this first one is dated January 25th. So just the other day, was it last week? And it says on November 12, 2021, the Eastern District of New York, we'll just call him Jose. He was sentenced for conspiracy to defraud the United States government. And so pretty much, I read this earlier, over the course of 6 years between 2011 and 2017, he's accused of submitting fraudulent tax returns with fake tax documents, with fake withholdings. And one of them was to the tune of a refund of over $135,000, right? And so that exists, that's out there. And I receive these all the time, and all the time, there's postings about cases. And so, and that's public information. That's public information. And so when you're talking about a tax pro, there's primarily two categories, and there's some subcategories, but primarily two categories. We're talking about credentialed and non-credentialed tax preparers, credentialed and non-credentialed. So credentialed are enrolled agents, CPAs, attorneys, right? They have a credential that allows them. CPAs certified, they go through certain examination in order to get that certification. There are certain qualifications that they have to meet. And again, I myself am not a CPA. And actually, in certain states, Oklahoma being one of them, a lot of states, that unless you are a CPA, you can't call yourself an accountant. So you will never see me refer to myself as an accountant, because according to some state laws, when you use that, it's assumed you are a CPA according to the law. And so I provide accounting services. I'm not a CPA, right? So I have all the qualifications to sit for the exam, which include 150 credit hours. And so that's beyond a bachelor's degree, 120. So a certain amount of accounting hours, I believe. Then the examination is 4 tests that you have to take and pass in order to be a CPA, and also 1,800 hours of professional service. So, and that has to be accounted for with a CPA that holds credentials already. And so that can be in accounting, can be in attestation, or it can be tax services. So, and that's with the state of Oklahoma. The qualifications to be a CPA is state designated. So different states have different qualifications, but they're all very similar, but they're not the same. And whereas an enrolled agent is the only credential that is offered through the IRS. And in order to do that, there is a three-part exam, the C exam, SEE. It's a three-part exam that you have to take and pass. And then, as with CPAs, there are continual education credits that are required. Enrolled agents have a certain amount per year and then a certain amount over a 3-year span. And then, of course, attorneys who are perhaps specialized in taxes, of course, they have to pass the bar exam. And so those are credentialed. And then non-credentialed, there are two categories. Paid tax preparers who participate in the annual filing season program, which is a continual education program, voluntary continual education program of the IRS, and then those who do not. So credentialed EAs, CPAs, attorneys, non-credentialed annual filing season program participants, and non-participants. And so a little bit on the annual filing season program. It's not very big at all. So the annual filing season program it recognizes the efforts of non-credentialed tax preparers who aspire a higher level of professionalism, want to set themselves apart from the crowd. As a result, we have to do continual education programs. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We have to do continual education, have to receive continual education credits each and every year and apply every year for that designation and receive that record of completion with the IRS. And as a result, we it's an option, not a requirement, but this is public information, directory of federal tax return preparers with credentials and select qualifications. And so you can do a search for credentialed attorneys, CPAs, enrolled agents, enrolled actuary credentials, enrolled retirement plan agent credentials, and then the annual filing season program. And this is just a quick search. Annual filing season program participants in area code 73110, Midwest City in Oklahoma. Since other people outside Oklahoma may watch this. And so it gives a list of all those within a 5-mile radius. And there are 20. And actually, one of them is an EA. So he's an EA and he participates in the annual filing season program. Awesome. And one of them is a CPA who participates in the annual filing season program. That's awesome. And I see 3 people on here from Next Step Financial Partners. Way to go, team. Myself and then 2 others. And so that's awesome. You can search for, again, your tax pro to see whether or not they participate in the annual filing season program, if they profess that they do. So talking about certified tax professionals, and how that is not something that we can use. This is regulations governing practice before the Internal Revenue Service. This is often simply referred to as Circular 230. All right, Circular 230, based on 31 USC subsection 330, practice before the Department of the Internal Revenue Service. So this is law. Then what we're going to look at is subsection 1030, solicitation. It's on page 23. I had to highlight it because it was just so much information here. In Circular 230, which we have to sign off on in order to participate in the annual filing season program. So here, there we go. Solicitation, advertising, and solicitation restrictions. A practitioner, someone who is a paid tax preparer. It's a practitioner, someone who practices before the IRS. A practitioner may not, with respect to any Internal Revenue Service matter, in any way use or participate in the use of any form of public communication or private solicitation containing a false, fraudulent, or coercive statement or claim, or a misleading or deceptive statement of claim. It's a mouthful. In other words, we can't lie on communication. Enrolled agents, enrolled retirement agents are registered tax return preparers in describing their professional designation may not utilize the term certified or imply an employer-employee relationship with the Internal Revenue Service. So as a paid tax preparer, it is illegal for us to use the word certified tax preparer. It is illegal. All right. So be careful of using that. Again, I'm talking to tax pros, I'm talking to taxpayers. So be careful with that designation. EAs, they know what they can use. So, but an example of acceptable description for registered tax preparers is designated as a registered tax preparer by the Internal Revenue Service. And that's the way that we can present ourselves to the American public, to the American taxpayer. And again, this is subsection 10.3, solicitation, subsection A, subsection 1 of U.S. Code 31 U.S. Code subsection 330, practice before the Department of the Internal Revenue Service. Okay. And so a lot of people don't know that. When we know better, we do better. And so I just want to throw that out there. Participating in the annual filing season program. I'm saying this because I, of course, took on some tax preparers for this current season with Next Step Financial Partners, tax and accounting. And then I had other people reach out to me. And one of my questions was about participating in the annual filing season program. And I was shocked at how many of them did not know anything about it. And so the annual filing season program is, again, a voluntary continual education program by the IRS. We have to do 18 credit hours. What you will notice on the certificate, and again, it's not very big on my screen, so I know some of you are probably watching on your phones. One of the courses we have to take is 2 hours of ethics. And you see at the bottom, it says, in accordance with the standards set forth in Circular 230, Section 10.6, CE credits have been granted based on a 50-minute hour. And so this, again, represents this 2-hour course. It was 2 credit hours. Yeah, 2 credit hours. And again, it's based on Circular 230. We just looked at a portion of that. CE credits are determined by that as well. Also 10 credit hours in this year, I should say, to business ethics, including partnerships, business entities, including partnerships and corporations, and same notation at the bottom there. So 10 ethics, 10 in taxation. Mine was in, again, business entities. And then annual refresher course is a 6-hour course that is included with, everyone has to take it. And again, it's based on Circular 230. And then after that, our credits are reported to the IRS, placed in our account where we get and renew our professional tax preparer identification number, often referred to as a PETN. And then, of course, we sign off in acknowledging and agreeing to operate in accordance with Circular 230. We receive an annual filing season program record of completion for a particular tax year. And with the annual filing season, it gives the participants limited representation rights for the taxpayer, whereas credentialed tax preparers have full representation rights. I have limited representation rights as a participant in the annual filing season program. So I have to hold a record of completion for the year in which the tax return is done that I had to have done, as well as the year of examination. And then there is a limitation on that as well. And so this is why I've been participating. This is my 3rd year participating in this, 3rd year in business with Next Step as well, 3rd tax season. Okay. In addition to that, I also sign up for IRS webinars, which add additional continual education credits. And so I normally end up with more than 18 because I participate. I mean, I tune into webinars by the IRS. This was just the other day. Keys to mastering due diligence requirements and what to do during a due diligence audit. Very insightful for me. And again, in accordance with standards set forth in Circular 230, Section 10.6, and CE credits have been granted based on a 50-minute hour. And the course webinar was longer than 50 minutes, but that's what it's based on. And so needing a tax pro, what to look for, need one, free education. That's kind of what we're talking about, and following my own coach's teaching. Got to make sure that I make some type of call to action. So it's located in the video. First of all, I'm looking for Christian entrepreneurs online, those who are either currently or desire to start a virtual service-based business. There's a link for a survey that I would love for you to fill out so that I can put together some free training for you. And so definitely take the time, fill out the survey. It's not very long. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, this year we kind of simplified our process, changed tax softwares, had a lot of issues last year with our portal. And so we are simplifying that process. Now we have an app. You can get the app at app.nextstepfinancialpartners.com. There's a link associated with this video. I'm also going to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get more subscriptions on it as well. There is a link to that. Feel free to take a moment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, there is a free 50-minute webinar on best practices for small business taxes that you can sign up for. Immediate access to it is on demand. And of course, you know, I'm halfway listening to my business coach because those are multiple call to actions, not just one. But I wanted to put them in there because I want to talk about them. All right. So if there are any questions, just let me know. Feel free to type them in. If you're watching this later, definitely feel free to comment. And I will definitely see it and I will respond. Feel free to inbox me, whether my personal page or Next Step Financial Partners. Definitely visit our website, nextstepfinancialpartners.com. I almost gave the church website, nextstepfinancialpartners.com. And I'm looking forward to a great tax season. Hopefully I gave you some information that you can use with the practice, whether you are a taxpayer, whether you are a tax pro. You know, I want to see you succeed, you know, and so I want to give you that information. I don't want to hold you up. And I think it's been very evident to some because I've had no problem tagging other tax pros and different things, liking your posts, your videos. Again, that helps push it out to more people. So feel free to do that with this video. And then even tagging CPAs when somebody is looking for a CPA, whether they know they actually need one or not, because a lot of times most people don't need a CPA to do what they need done, but yet I have no problem tagging local CPAs in the greater Oklahoma City metro area when possible. And so again, I may be a solopreneur, but I'm not by myself. Thank God that I'm connected to a program where I have access to CPAs, enrolled agents, attorneys with multiple years of experience. So when I encounter things that are new to me, because again, no matter how long you've been in the industry, the tax industry, you are not going to know everything. Some things you're just going to have to research and work out. And it helps to have people that you are connected with to be able to help you navigate that for your clients and on my behalf for my clients. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. Again, hopefully I wasn't too long, but if you weren't able to watch the whole video, feel free to go back and watch it. Definitely some great information and education. And again, I want to see you succeed. So whether you are a fellow tax pro, whether you are a small business owner, whether you are considering entering into a starting your own business, a virtual service-based business, stay connected to me. I want to be able to help you navigate your business as you pursue your purpose. This is Brother Juan. We're gonna call it a night. I think I'm gonna go cook me some cod and some sides and relax because This Is Us comes on tonight on Tuesday, and then be ready in the morning for another day, another hopefully another busy and productive day. Y'all have a good one. God bless you.